This is a Global Original Podcast. As you can hear from the exhausted sound of my voice, I've been in, out, shaking it all about as per the PM's clear lockdown instructions. This week, these clips were recorded just before last Christmas, when the weather was somewhat different to how it is now. First off, we learned something about the ice caps that no one knew before.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
I haven't even started yet. So much grief I got yesterday for saying the obvious. Australia is on fire. You just heard people whining about it in Australia, talking about global warming. And the amount of people that messaged me yesterday saying, no. And furthermore... No. No, you got it wrong, Nick. I read about it on Facebook. Stu says, Nick, you've got this... These are messages I'm wiping up from yesterday. Some business from yesterday. Stu says, Nick, you've got this global warming flood thing all wrong. As the Earth is flat, like a pizza... The ice caps that you refer to actually stop the water from spilling over the edge. If they melted, then the water levels would drop, as it would all spill over the edge. So, less of the nonsense about melting ice causing floods. You couldn't be wronger. Says Stu from the Lake District, where it rains all the time. James says, hasn't Nick seen the movie Waterworld? It's not going to be so bad, especially if you have gills. And David says that the reason that we're getting all this rain is that the water they are using to put the fires out in Australia is causing all the steam going up into the atmosphere. Well, that is a good point. Why can't they just be happy on fire? And on that subject, Mal in Belfast says, Nick, in Northern Ireland, rain falls on average 213 days of the year, or 17.8 days of rain, sleet or snow per month. We could definitely do with more sun, you mad climate change warriors. Think there's a Goldilocks solution for the whole world. Well, we want a bespoke solution for Northern Ireland. And Glasgow, where I bet it's still raining right now. I'll check while you wait. Why doesn't my phone recognise me anymore? It doesn't recognise my fingerprint. It doesn't recognise my face. My beautiful face! Nope. I've got to draw a squiggle. It doesn't know who I am. The weather in Glasgow is as follows. Well, it's cruel to laugh, but it's going to be raining tonight and raining tomorrow and raining on Monday and raining on Tuesday and raining on Wednesday and raining on Thursday and raining on Friday and raining on Saturday and raining the following Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Every day for the rest of your lives.
Affirmative.
Still, it's a great town and I won't hear a word said against it. James in Kensington says, have you seen the Donald Trump toilet brush that Poundland are selling? No, I have not. But I would really like to see it. How about you, Donnie?
Oh, shut up!
And this says, how's your new old car? Get a hot water bottle if you don't have heated seats. Hey, that's not a bad idea. My new old car. Well, the new old... It's a bit alarming, actually, because, to be brief... I have a 20-year-old car that I've been driving for 20 years. And it's very, very soft and squidgy and spongy. And it doesn't really do anything when you ask it to. Like if you press your accelerator, even if you press it right down to the floor, even if you press it so hard you feel like you're going to punch through the floor of the car, nothing really happens. It's as though it's thinking, oh, are you sure? And eventually it might convert petrol into noise, and that's about it. It doesn't really propel itself forward at any great speed. Similarly, if you stamp on the brakes, not a lot really happens. It slows to an eventual halt, particularly if you're going up a hill. But which, by the way, is quite relaxing. You know, just drifting along in something of... it's like a drifting along in a peach-coloured haze. Very, very relaxing. But the new old car, though, is... God, it's like driving a mentally ill horse. Are you allowed to say that?
No.
It's like driving... not a thoroughbred, because that implies that it's actually a good car. But it's a bit twitchy. You just touch the accelerator and you're about 20 yards further forward than you thought you would be, which is alarming. And you just hover your foot over the brake and the car stops with such force that it feels like your face is going to come off. So it's not relaxing at all. So I'm just constantly on the edge of panic the entire time I'm in the car. Maybe I'll just sit in it with the engine off. That'd be better. I could get somebody to tow me, put it on a lorry. Why are these people calling me already? They're a bit keen, aren't they? Anyway, Surrey has been hit by a tornado. We've had tornadoes here now, and the floods, meaning that everybody in the country will shortly see their sofa float out of their living room windows. But it's got nothing to do with climate change. Goodness me, no. Why would anybody think that? There's no such thing as global warming, and I know that because a stream of numpties called me on this show last night to tell me so, and that's a fact. And then they called me... And then they wrote great screeds on the internet and sent it to me and said, how dare you tell us that we're numpties? We've got it on tape. Uh-huh. So we're going to have more downpours and heavy rain expected for the rest of the weekend. Widespread flooding continuing to cause travel chaos in the lead up to Christmas. It's the most magical time of the year. Videos of a tornado. Did you see it? Passing through the area in Chertsey in Surrey, wherever that is. Meanwhile, a Met Office forecasts that 2 weeks' worth of rain is going to fall in the next 24 hours, causing even more flooding on already saturated ground.
Oh, no.
Sopping it is out there. How can there be more water in the sky? There's 105 flood warnings and 260 flood alerts across the country, and we still have no idea what's the difference between a warning and an alert. And an alert. And an alert. You try it.
An alert?
The look on his face. That's the look of advanced panic. Are you completely relaxed in there? No. So what is the difference between a warning and you try it?
What's the difference between a warning and an alert, Nick?
And an alert, yeah, you just stumble your way through it. Just charge your way through it. Don't pause. Just take a run up. What is the difference between a warning and an alert? A warning sounds like this.
Warning, warning.
An alert sounds like this. That is the difference. Or the other way around. 30 millimetres of rain is expected to fall by midday tomorrow. 30 millimetres. And you double it and you add 32 to get feet. So double 30 is 80 and add 32 and 80 is 122. There's going to be 122 feet of rain by tomorrow morning. Can you believe that?
No.
Southern England is going to see the worst of the wet conditions. And in Wales there will be very, very heavy downpours. 4 to 5 millimetres expected to fall within just 1 hour. Sheep will be shrinking at this rate. The River Darrant in Kent has burst its banks. Network Rail said there's going to be disruption on the Great Northern, the Gatwick Express, Thameslink and Southern services until midday on Sunday. Passengers will not notice the difference. Southern would like to apologise for being Southern. Yesterday's rain caused a section of the promenade in Southsea in Hampshire to collapse. The M23 was shut yesterday in both directions because of flooding near Crawley. There was gridlock around Gatwick Airport with tailbacks several miles long. There was also delays due to flooding on the A12 in Essex and the A20 in West Kingsdown in Kent. Motorists had to be rescued from their cars by firemen after becoming marooned in Lee near Tunbridge. Maroon, my least favourite colour. Cars were also submerged in Billericay, Dickie. Meanwhile, rail commuters faced delays after tracks were left under water inches deep at Frant Station, Tunbridge Wells, East Sussex yesterday morning. A landslip between Guildford and Godalming caused problems on services into Waterloo. Godalmit. And Ben, out of the RAC, said bumper-to-bumper traffic on some motorways and major A roads was near guaranteed. He said it looks as though millions of drivers are planning to complete their Christmas getaway trip this week because that's what Jesus wants. He said when you add in the prospect of unsettled weather with heavy rain and strong winds in some parts, there are likely to be pretty unpleasant drives. Well, he sounds like an expert. And Marco, out of the Met Office, said heavy rain is moving up over the country, but temperatures will remain average for this time of year.
Oh, fabulous.
Blooming freezing outside. But the weather is due to turn more settled next week. And Christmas Day is set to be largely dry with sunny spells. Dry with sunny spells? We'll take it! 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. By the way, if you're counting, I think I've managed to squeeze 30 minutes out of the weather over the course of 2 shows. And that's just the forecast. Never mind the splaining about it afterwards. This says it's all in capitals with enough exclamation marks. Like I said yesterday, it's like he loaded them into a blunderbuss and then just fired them all over his screen. Nick Abbot, spelt wrong. When are you going? G-O-U-N-G. When are you going to swallow, S-W-A-L-O-W, your own words? Boris is doing for us what Donald Trump has done for America, 5 exclamation marks. We have now got Brexit done. Well, that person forgot to tell me that they're not stupid. There was plenty of space at the end of that message. Just forgot to add that on at the end. David says, Boris, the Tories and Donald Trump will lead this world into a fresh, brighter, positive new future. Things will only get better from now on. And I can't, you see, it's very, very difficult to tell tone from a message, but I assume that you're being sarcastic. Because otherwise, I think I would go into a funk, as in depression, not that kind of funk. Hit me. John says, Johnson, why is everybody writing to me in all caps? Like they're shouting at me. It doesn't make you sound brighter. I've got to tell you that. Johnson reminds me of a dry cleaner in Wales during my childhood, but Johnson reminds me of a dry cleaner in Wales during my childhood. It could be a job. See, it wasn't my fault. It was the way it was constructed. Shall I start that again? I'll assume the answer is no. And this says, Judy says, I am disgusted. By the way, when you say the word disgusted, it's always better to spell it with a Z, because it sounds more disgusting. I am disgusted, says Judy, at how badly Brexit is already going. She's disgusted about how badly Brexit is already going. Weatherspoons has run out of pigs in blankets due to a lack of migrant workers in food factories. What's next? Yorkshire puddings, says Judy. Yeah, talk about alerts and warnings. That is a very, very bad situation.
Warning!
Tony in Windsor says the hosepipe ban starts next week. Reason? It's the wrong type of rain. It's too wet. It absolutely is. Wouldn't it be nice if the rain was less wet? Someone should look into that. Coming up, a toff can't take his top off. Scott in Maidstone says, did you see the video of Jacob Rees-Mogg failing to open a bottle of water? Only to ask a bloke that he was sat next to open it for him. Can Rees-Mogg really survive without his nanny? Here's a call in Stockwell. Frederick.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
A good pouring evening to you.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's fascinating. There are lakes where there were once roads.
I know. Well, driving here tonight, I was driving at approximately 5 miles an hour the whole way, because if you don't know how deep a puddle is, and unless a car goes ahead of you, then it's very difficult to know how to proceed.
Could you reveal the type of car or cars that you possess? Because people often
most certainly, yes,
cars.
I can. I've got an old one, which is in about 1,000 different parts in a garage near me.
What brand is that?
It's black. And I've got another one which is sitting outside my house, which it has so many lights come up on the dashboard when you turn the engine on. Warning lights.
Warning, warning.
It's lit up so much it looks like Christmas. Jesus' birthday it looks like when you're sitting in there. So it's basically you can't drive it anywhere because of the danger it might explode. And I've got another one, which was to replace the one that doesn't work, which was to replace the original one that didn't work, which hasn't stopped working yet. But then I've only had it for a couple of weeks.
Have you ever tried to look online and find how much a Mercedes-Benz headlamp costs for a recent Mercedes?
No, I have not.
I think they don't want you to know because it is so much. I think you don't be surprised if it's approaching £1,000.
£1,000 for a headlight?
I know that the prices are truly eye-watering, and I think the idea is that the people who have a recent car, it'll be a company expense. So when things go wrong, they're not too bothered because it's been paid for by technically.
Right, that's why business class seats in planes cost a fantastic amount of money. It's because they're booked by the secretaries of business persons. And the secretaries aren't remotely interested how much it costs. They just want to get off the phone straight away so they can go back to playing computer games and ordering things off Amazon.
I think with these new headlamps with all the LEDs, if they have LEDs,
LEDs,
extortionate because you can't change the LED.
LED standing for liquid electric diodes.
Light emitting, but I'm sure everybody else will forgive you. So we have this situation where I think the cars are intended to go down to virtually no value, whereby people will say, "Oh well, I won't buy the new item, which is all it needs. I will then go and buy a new
car." Yeah. Or these days, rent one.
Yes, it is strange how, if you look at the car adverts, and have you seen how small the small print is? It's beyond small
I can't see the small print anymore. Never mind about read it.
You need a jeweler's diamond glass to read the small print.
You need an electron microscope to see what it is that you're getting into.
Exactly. They don't print the price of the car. And I think all car adverts should say, this is how much your Bentley or Rolls-Royce comes out at, which will probably be $100.
Well, listen, if you have to ask the price of a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce, then you're in the wrong showroom.
But at the same time, you know, if you're buying a token everyday car, you should still be told the PR.
How much it actually costs? Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
It seems to be honest. I don't like things that smack of trying to hide the truth from you. And these are huge, huge companies, so they should be very open, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should be as open as the government.
Now, I'm glad you brought the government up, because there is a problem with a certain person who claims to be the Prime Minister at the moment.
Yeah.
There was a place called Earl's Court, a wonderful exhibition centre, you may remember.
I do. I saw Pink Floyd there. I saw Pink Floyd do The Wall on the original show. Pink Floyd and The Wall.
Rock and roll!
Earl's Court. Terrible, terrible venue.
Well, but it's a wonderful location. It was exhibitions and all sorts of things went on there. And then, apparently, because a friend of mine lives in Lily Road, a certain Mr. Johnson, it was going to be listed, and he changed the date of listing so they could demolish it.
Really? Yeah, thanks a lot, Boris.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Another great success.
And so now there's just nothing there.
Is there? No, I haven't been down that way in a good long while. There's just nothing there at all?
Well, I think there were plans for speculative blocks of flats.
Oh yeah, that's what London is crying out for. More executive flatlets.
But I think that whole project disappeared because it's been dead now for a few years.
Right. Well, I find that hard to believe that a plot of land that's that expensive doesn't have identikit blocks of tiny flats in it. It will. Don't worry about that, Frederick.
How do you envisage the car in 10 years' time? Do you see
my car or a car? I'll tell you what's really bizarre is my 20-year-old car is so I've got a 20-year-old car that I've driven around for 20 years, and it is it's vastly different from the one I've just got, which is 10 years old. So there's only 10 years between it. But it's like stepping into the future when you step into my 10-year-old car, having just got out of my 20-year-old car. But the 10-year-old car is exactly the same as a modern car. There's been no change at all in the last 10 years, but it's changed beyond recognition in the 10 years before that.
Do you ever measure your mileage per gallon?
Yeah, always. It's frightening.
Do you divide your litres? Do you brim it and then make a note of the mileage, and next time you fill it up, you divide your mileage by your litres by 4.55 to give you the gallons?
Yeah. No, I don't, because that would be just plain weird.
No, but it does tell you the truth, and it's
Yeah, well, I can't handle the truth.
But don't you find it annoying when you're told how many kilometres per litre?
Yeah. Nobody knows what a kilometre is. I mean, how many miles is a kilometre? Nobody has any idea.
It's very strange that all sorts of things are being classified as litres and European values.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that's
thought
probably
we
where it came from.
Stayed
Yeah.
aloof, but we seem to have adopted them, and now we want to separate from them.
It's miles per gallon, but you buy it by the litre. They're just trying to confuse us.
So just remember, divide it by 4.55, and you will have the gallonage that you have just put in.
Trust me, that's at the top of my list, because mental arithmetic is my speciality. I have to divide it by 4.55.
Yes.
Are you kidding? I have difficulty dividing things by 1.
You are permitted to use a calculator.
Oh, well, if only they were readily available.
You mean to say it's not on your dashboard of your new car?
Well, it is, yes. The readout keeps coming up. I can't get rid of it. It's frightening. Every time I switch the engine on, it uses petrol. Who even knew such a thing?
Does it tell you the mileage per gallon you're using every time you accelerate or decelerate?
Yeah, it does. It keeps changing. It makes me want to stop the car, switch the engine off, and get out and walk.
Were you to design a car of your own?
I'll do that straight away. Yeah, leave that with me. I'll have the full drawings on your desk first thing in the morning. You build it, market it, and sell it, and we'll split the costs. We'll split the profits 50-50. What do you say?
I think that sounds
okay. Excellent. Well, that's a deal. All right. Thanks a lot, Frederick. 0345 6060 973. This says, "Happy 6th Brexit, Nick." That's right. That's the 6th time Britain separates from Europe in history. Can't wait to join them again, says Lucas in Twickenham. We're going to join them again.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, we've got to go through all that again. Just wait 10 years and the vast majority, the majority of the people in this country want to stay in the EU as it is. That is undeniable. Just wait 10 years and the vast majority of the people in this country will want to rejoin the European Union, because all the oldsters will have shuffled off the conveyor belt of life, the ones that are, furiously hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, eyes crossed, knees crossed, and ankles crossed. No, I did not see that video of Jacob Rees-Mogg failing to open a bottle of water. I heard about it. That should be on my... I should really have looked that up. He's a funny person. In all the wrong ways. Correct. Coming up, a man has an issue with an electric car.
This is absolute tosh.
0345 6060 973. Here's a call in Elephant and Castle. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Nick. Just to let you know, the flooding that's out there, I've got a nice Range Rover that doesn't give me any dramas when I'm going through it. Right, so as far as climate change is concerned, I know they won't like me, but to be honest with you, the only reason why I've kept my car is because I know the weather's only going to get worse.
Right.
And I need something to take me through on a regular basis, and that is going to do the job. Not an electric car that doesn't cater. Climate change is here to stay.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Paul, for that unsolicited testimonial. He's got a Range Rover, and it's such a good car that it actually manages to drive through Elephant and Castle without incident. I had no idea they were so good. This says, I hope your new old car has good heating and it can feel as hot as Australia is right now. All the best from Chris in Whitstable. Well, it's probably, when I go back to it, like I said last night, it'll probably be on fire. This says, my mother was from Germany. I feel European and always have done. I am ashamed about Brexit and the way it has shredded our global reputation. We are a joke now. Yeah, one of those unfunny jokes that falls out of a Christmas cracker. What's the difference between unlawful and illegal? That's the only joke I know. It's like I only know one poem. There was a young man from Australia. Can I tell that one? Apparently not. What's the difference between unlawful and illegal?
Alert.
An alert. Yeah, you're an alert. You're a panic. This says, we will be rejoining the EU when Scotland breaks away from the UK and we can move up there, says Matt in Lewisham. Well, I will be able to use my Scottish heritage. I'll be able to get a Scottish passport. Don't you worry about that. I've got the accent and everything. There was an article. I'm trying to get into my phone again. It just will not. I'm putting my finger on its fingerprint thing and it's not recognising it. Stupid phone. One moment. The EU are planning to punish the UK following... This is the Express. So take this with a pinch of salt. The EU are planning to punish the UK. Well, I don't know. I think that certain members of the United Kingdom might actually like that. Thank you, sir. May we have another? The EU are planning to punish the UK following its exit from the bloc early next year by offering Scotland an easy route back into the bloc, in what an SNP MP described as putting a little finger up to the rest of the UK. Just a wee digit. You'll be able to discuss that with Nicola Sturgeon. Ain't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course, yeah.
He's unsure. Oh, you're doing very well so far. It's been seamless. Oldbury, Ranjit.
Nick, how are you?
Great, mate.
Okay. I want to talk about this global warming, and I do agree with you that there is a problem. Okay? And I don't think the problem has been addressed properly.
Right.
Okay? Now, I used to drive trucks before I do what I do now.
What do you do now?
I run a fish and chip shop. Yeah?
Ah, fish and chip shop,
Okay,
eh?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. How often do you change the fat?
We don't have to change it because we've got a filtration.
Never. Yeah, I knew that was what you were going to say. Never. Oh, my God, it's worse than I thought.
We have to change it when we get a new batch of potatoes. But enough of that.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to pick up 30 tons of cardboard, onto a container, which was driven by a truck, onto a train, onto a ship, to China, to be recycled.
China.
And then brought back.
Yeah.
China, China. And then everybody's saying China is spewing up all of these gases, but we're all responsible for it because we're sending steel to be recycled, aluminium to be recycled.
Yeah. We're sending our rubbish over there.
We're sending our rubbish up there. And what about the carbon footprint? So when we buy something, there should be something to say that this is going to become carbon neutral when. And the other thing is, these wind power.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The wind turbines, they're manufactured or whatever. I'm not denying, as I say, I do agree that we need to do something. But the economics of money...
The economics of money, yes.
It doesn't match what the people who do this recycling do. I mean,
wait. Back up. Are you telling me that that wind power is not economically viable?
Oh, no. For example...
Because that would be completely incorrect in every respect.
No, Nick, listen, please. Yeah?
Plus, with the added benefit that it kills lots of stupid birds that fly into it. Don't forget that.
Yeah, they are stupid birds, yeah. Okay,
How can those birds miss something that's so big and moves so slowly? How stupid are birds? Bird brains.
They don't look at the internet.
That is true, yeah. They don't do their research. Exactly.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say a bottle of vodka, an empty one, yeah?
Matt, how come it's empty?
Because I drank it.
Right.
Yeah. So if we was to wash it, send it back, and they was to refill it with new vodka and put a new top on it, instead of smashing it and then recycling it and burning it and remolding it again.
Yes.
How much gases are we adding to the earth then?
6.
6, is it? But that's what I'm trying to say. Because to send something over to China, it's a lot cheaper financially.
China.
But China, it destroys it. I can say it nearly as good as you there, right? Now, I only know what I read on the internet, yeah?
Yeah. You only know what you read on the internet.
What do I know about it? All I know is what's on the internet.
Yes.
Okay. No, what I'm trying to, from North Wales, we would pick up a lot of sheepskin.
Well, whereabouts in North Wales? It's a bit vague. Are you talking about Prestatyn, Rhyl, where?
Yeah, Wrexham and that, yeah.
Corstorphine? Where precisely are we talking about?
Wrexham, yeah.
Is it
where
Glasgow?
They shave all the no, Wrexham. Now, Glasgow, it's raining.
Clydebank.
It's raining up there. So we would pick up lots of sheep's wool, right? 3 containers, which would go to China, which would be woven into thread,
cardboard
and
boxes,
brought back
yes.
here. And brought back here on 1 container. So why don't we keep it in-house and recycle everything here?
Right. Why? Because it's cheaper to send it all the way across the world
But
to
then-
have
then
Chinese
all these-
people do it because they're practically slave labour over there. That's why.
No, Nick, but then that's adding to the carbon footprint
I
of
see.
the world.
It's my
that's
fault.
What my point.
Right, okay.
No, it's not yours. It's mine, right? But the thing is, when me and you, when we start getting on thin ice, you have to cut me off. So before you cut me off, can I wish everybody a very happy Christmas?
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, Ranjit. A very happy Christmas to everybody. It says Trump is on the ball by creating a space force. We're going into space. We're going to be using wind.
I know a lot about wind.
Trump is on the ball by creating a space force. Humans have to leave the planet Earth anyway. Best to colonise other planets, starting with Mars. The UK should follow Trump's lead. There is no second planet. There's no planet B, like the crusty hippies say. Let's try not to screw the planet that is the only one that we know that we can actually live on without being in a geodesic dome. Let's try to be better at managing this planet than screwing this one up and then going and screwing another planet up. Blimey, we're like a disease spreading across the universe. Here's a call in Kensington. Ahmed.
Hi, and thanks for answering my call.
Thanks for making your call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To say, well, now that we are leaving Brexit, we are leaving the EU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, we're leaving the EU.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Nice knowing
Can
you.
we talk about actually, like, without fear of being...
Shouted at? No.
Yeah,
not yet.
Can we say,
give it a couple of decades.
Can we be honest about, like, I sometimes ask myself, what was the logic of people who voted for Brexit?
There's no logic. We're not interested in logic or facts and figures. We're all about feelings now, baby. Don't look for logic where none exists. It's emotions they're talking about.
Yeah, I look at a little bit about the figures, and without being called like I'm calling anybody stupid or whatever.
Here we go.
Well, now we're leaving, so let's be a little bit honest. I mean, do you suppose of yourself, okay, vast majority of people who voted for this are the up north working class. Like, what was the logic? I mean, they have got every right.
Well, you want me to tell you what the logic was?
Yeah.
The logic was that they were told by people that they trusted, or, well, I don't know whether they actually trust them. They were. The message was so attractive that they overcame their doubts about the veracity of what it is that they're being told and the truthfulness of the people doing the telling. That their lives were going to get better. That was the story that they were sold. Their lives are going to get better. Yeah. You're going to have more money. Your prospects are going to improve. You're going to live life like one of those Kardashians in the magazines, and your butt will become firmer. Furthermore,
so, fair enough. But sometimes you also look at the messenger, not only the message. I mean, think about it. If you look at the simple stuff, like layman man like me, I can understand like simple stuff. For example, who most likely would need to go a short holiday like Spain or Tenerife or south of France and so on? Who would need not Boris Johnson or the rich guys like Rees-Mogg or Ian Duncan-Smith? They would afford to go they could afford to go to Barbados and far away holidays.
Yeah, I wouldn't get hung up on being able to take a holiday in Europe. I don't think there's going to be any problems with taking a holiday in Europe. That's going to be just fine. Don't worry about it, Ahmed.
Well, one thing we know is that it would most likely be not simpler or cheaper.
You just go down to the railway station or the airport and you'll get on a plane or a train. Make sure that you don't go to the railway station to get on a plane, because that would be a big mistake. Huge.
Okay. Who would most likely need free data roaming in Europe?
Who would need free data roaming? Yeah, I think you're sweating the small stuff, Ahmed. Don't worry about it. You'll still be able to take 86,000 pictures of your face and put them up on the internet wherever you roam.
Okay, so let's start with the figures then. Just on 2018, EU paid UK citizens directly through.
Right, you're about to hit me with statistics. Oh, Struth.
No.
This sounds like homework.
No, I just wanted. You said because those are the simple ones. I wanted to mention things that might not be directly visible to a lot of people, which is like schemes like Agricultural Guarantee Fund and the European Regional Development Fund and so on. A couple of billions, about 6-7 billion, just 2018.
Or one of those numbers, yeah.
Yeah, who would most likely benefit from that?
Is it a bloke called Jeff? I'm sure it's Jeff or Dave. I don't know, Ahmed. I think you're worrying about the wrong things. Be concerned, but not about small stuff like that.
No, I think it's time we should reflect and say, look, what's in the minds of people who voted for this?
A calm moment of reflection. Does that sound possible? No. Give it a couple of decades, like I said, when the people the fury mongers have given themselves a heart attack and shuffled off this mortal coil. I've got to go, but thanks for that. Another satisfied customer. Here's a message that says, neck. Do they mean Nick, or is that just in the local dialect? Nick, we will be happy to welcome you to Scotland, but for your first year you will have to wear a kilt to prove your allegiance, says JD in Scotland. Nobody in Scotland wears a kilt. No one in Scotland wears a kilt, and that is a fact. Except for the guy who plays the pipes on the George IV Bridge in Edinburgh for the tourists. Only him. Nobody else wears a kilt. At all. This says you can't blame the Australian Prime Minister for wanting a holiday in the sun. He went on a holiday while the country that he's supposed to be running was on fire. And I think he answered a quizzical reporter, or some person who asked him to explain himself, and he said, "I don't hold a hose, mate." Australians, eh? I love them. But it's true, he doesn't hold a hose. It's not his job. Angela in Carlisle says, Brexit hardman Steve Baker MP came to Rees-Mogg's rescue and opened the bottle for him. One can't open one's bottle. And that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, the next episode will get squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget the podcast that I do with Carol McGiffin, which is called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which me and Carol McGiffin try to solve people's problems while laughing like drains. I think you'll love it. Ask for it by name, What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, and you can get that where you got this. And I'll be back on the radio Friday and Saturday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.